Hey family, it's your boy, back with another 10 card spread for y'all. Yep, we got another doozy for you. And the spread I got for y'all today is childhood activities, guilt, inner teen, anger trigger, the color of sadness, self-talk, self-pressure, lies, blame, and less. Woo! And what I'm getting off the surface of these is someone is feeling triggered about a lie stemming about an activity that happened in their teen years. In this situation, they've been talking to themselves, delving into the past, looking for someone to blame that would only bring guilt and sadness, and overall self-pressure and feeling less. That's what I'm getting off the surface. But let's dive deep in the meat. This is the third warning that the ancestors has given to someone who wants to go out their way to harm someone. Make this your last time, man. Whether you chosen or not, it ain't gonna matter when the ancestors get a hold of you. Now let's dive deep in the meat. Childhood activity says, what activities did you enjoy as a child? What does this reveal about your inner child? Y'all already know about my joy for skating. But here's another enjoyment. This one is from my teen years as well. I enjoyed going to Six Flags. Who doesn't like Six Flags and roller coasters? I love them. I love amusement parks periodically. Though I've only been once or twice, that is definitely somewhere I'd like to go again. Next card is guilt. And it says, think about a time when you felt guilt. What was happening? I haven't had any more recent guilt trips or whatnot. Y'all already know about the one guilt that I felt about putting my puppy out of its misery. That one still stands and still stings. So, yeah, that one's still up. Next card is entertainment, and it says, in your teenage years, what did you not receive? How has this impacted you? As y'all know, it was acceptance of my eccentric ways. Because at that time, that was when the memories of heaven was very strong. And I kept claiming that wolf mask. My memories was distorted at that time. And I had no ways of proving any of it. I never turned during the full moon. But however, I did break out from silver. But that didn't happen till later. Or at least I didn't realize it at the time. Even now, I cannot wear belts because of the belt buckles break me out. But since that mask have been removed, I haven't actually tried to wear belts again to see if it still reacts to my skin. Since I am now finding out that I am the lion. I usually just use shoestrings or something like that to keep my pants up. Next card is anger trigger. And it says, what makes you angry? Why does it make you angry? Not much really makes me angry. But my dog Jason, he definitely brings it out of me. I thought he would have learned by now how I feel about him freaking on his sisters. But nope. He keeps breaking off his chain, and I always catch him going at it with them. I've even taken to chaining him to these heavy bleachers outside. And each day I return from the library, the bleachers are moved clean across the yard, with him still attached. And he's right there, freaking on his sisters. When he see me, though, coming, he hurry up and get down. But it's too late. I already seen him. I've gotten pissed a few times and had to lay hands on him. When my temper has gotten out of hand, I've almost actually choked him out with his own chain. But I don't let it go too far. I'm getting tired of pushing that heavy-ass bleacher back into place and repeating myself to him not to freak on his sisters. But just as kindness is my nature, I have realized freaking on each other is theirs. So I have just came up with an idea to just chain him up and cage him to see how that works out. Next card is the color of, and it says, what color is your sadness and why? As I've said before, it's dull and gray, but universally, it's blue. It's dull and gray because blue is already represents something positive for me, which is royalty and calm. Next card is self-talk, and it says, how do you speak to yourself when you're angry with yourself? Does it differ from how you speak to yourself when you are angry with others? When I'm angry with myself, I dive into the shoulda, coulda, wouldas of the situations. And it's the same when I'm mad at others. But sometimes I lean into wishful thinking on revenge. But I'm careful not to think on it too long. I get my satisfaction from it and drop it. I've never expressed my angers in the moment with people. I wait till I get home and just dive into scenarios. Next card is self-pressure. And it says, when are you the hardest on yourself? I'm hard on myself when I put in hard work on something and it doesn't work out or heed the desired results. I criticize myself and beat myself up inside my head. Next card is lies. And it says, what do you often lie about? I'm honest to a fault. And I'd keep things to myself before I lie about it. I don't like the feeling that lying brings. Next card is blame. And it says, what do you often blame others for? Keep in mind, when I blame others, the blame is rightly deserved. But we all play our parts in it. There's always a cause and effect. I've always blamed others for the way my life turned out, but the decisions I made during those instances played a role as well. The abuse, the disrespect, all that happened to me to make me the way I am. I let it shape me. Next card is less, and it says, what do you need less of? I need less outside interference from these outside forces with this mental and spiritual warfare. But that's too much to ask, right? Their job is to keep us from greatness, and we must keep pushing for perseverance. Now the time has come to get y'all down here with the extra insight cards and integration. And the cards I have for you is annoyance and reveal, why, important, angry, vision, lying, dictates, hiding, ego, and last thing I did. And what I'm getting off the surface of these is why are you conjuring up visions that hold no importance? Hiding behind your ego that only dictates and reveal annoyances that make you angry. Ruminating on lies is the last thing you want to do. Keep in mind, lies and anger has popped up twice for y'all. And when the ancestors put emphasis on something, y'all need to listen and take heed. Anyways, that's what I'm getting off the surface. But let's dive deep into these. Annoyance and reveal says, what do others do that annoys me the most? And what does that reveal about me? When it comes to childhood activities, what annoys me is when the lines are long and people are trying to jump the line. Even use people they may or may not know to do it. Since people are a reflection of the self, I guess that reveals deep down, I wish I had someone in that moment to do the same. Use that loophole to your advantage. Next card is why. And it simply says, why am I? When it comes to guilt. And for me, it's because it goes against my nature to harm something or someone that hasn't harmed me. And that puppy didn't do anything to harm me. Yet I had to take its life. I guess in these type of situations, the lines get blurred. If you can't help or find help for something that can possibly be fixed in one situation, you have to rely on the brutal alternative. Next card is important, and it says, what's the most important thing I didn't do that I should have done, and why? When it comes to inner team, which for me is the same thing normal people keep telling me to do. Get therapy. But if I fully want that, but if I fully went that route, I wouldn't have become spiritual, nor found out who I am. Because I wouldn't have went as hard as I had already to get to where I am now with the knowing. I tried talking about it and it got me put on meds and diagnosed as schizo. So that's why I don't do therapy or visit doctors and shit no more. Because I am not crazy. I am just a spiritual being having a spiritual experience. Next card is angry. And it says, what am I angry about when it comes to anger triggers? My dogs just don't listen. And with the fact that I can feel and read energy, when they misbehave, I know most times it's for attention. But they have gotten to a point where they take advantage of that and do that same stuff they know I get angry about. My dog Jason whines every rising when he hears me moving around inside when I get up. He does it so often, it has influenced his sisters to do the same. And, and they do it to rush me to feed them. And it does anger me. And most times they do it with attitude. They be like, "Hmm." You know how dogs whine, but they be stumping their feet with it and everything. These dogs are smart. They know what they're doing. So don't go feeling sorry for them. They take advantage just like y'all humans do. Next card is vision. And it says, what is the most ambitious vision for this when it comes to the color of sadness? Applying the vibration technique will make it more ambitious. It brightens the awareness and overall your mood if you really let yourself relax into it. Next card is lying, and it says, how do I know I'm not lying to myself when it comes to self-talk? When I can come out of those thought scenarios and it hasn't affected the way I live my life. That is how, for me. Next card is dictate. And it says, what dictates my decisions and how has that helped me when it comes to self-pressure? Well, when it comes to me, beating myself up can either make me or break me. Most times it just pushes me to go harder. And sometimes I ruminate and it depresses me for a few days until I figure out a better way to handle the situation. But it don't work with every situation. So keep that in mind. Next card is hiding. And it says, what am I hiding when it comes to lies? I sometimes hide my true feelings about certain situations. Like when someone asks me to do something I don't want to do, but I do it anyway for them because of my kind nature of wanting to be kind. This is where people take advantage and I lie to myself because I told myself I wouldn't let them take advantage. And this is where I need to learn when to use my kindness and switch between it and my temperament for balance. Next card is ego, and it says, Is it my ego or theirs when it comes to blame? In those instances of abuse, it was their ego that helped shape me. They overpowered me in those instances as a child. So it was their ego, not mine. Next card is Last Thing I Did. And it says, if this was the last thing I did, what would I do differently when it comes to less? What started all this was my move to Cali in the first place. That deepened my spirituality. So staying my ass at home in Missouri is probably what I would have done differently. But then you wouldn't be dealing with the person in front of you, and I wouldn't have found out that I was a primordial son of El, your boy Zyre'll. Lyra's up next, because this video is already long. So see y'all in the next video.